I've set out to determine why PlayStation's newest IP, Stellar Blade, is considered controversial amongst media and not so controversial amongst gamers. For those who aren't aware, Stellar Blade is Sony's newest IP from a Korean studio called Shift Up, and there is a lot of hype in regards to this game. But with all the hype, there's also some controversy. And it's not really anything new. I mean, if you're a gamer, you know exactly what it is because it pops up every few years, and this year it seems to have popped up back to back. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was actually the first game thrust in the spotlight this year because Square Enix decided that it wanted to make adjustments to Tifa's chest. And obviously when people saw that, it brought forth the over-sexualization conversation all over again, and that's where we are currently with Stellar Blade. It's important to note that this isn't a new controversy by any means. If you just look back a little farther towards Nier Automata with 2B and then Bayonetta before that, this has definitely been around for a long time, and with today's social climate, I don't think it's going anywhere. And with everything, there are unfortunately two very extreme sides of the spectrum on this one. And that's where things start getting really messy, is when there's a difference in opinions, people start demonizing each other for not agreeing with each other, and it just kind of ruins it for everybody. And Stellar Blade is unfortunately caught in the middle of that kind of tug of war. And the proverbial can of worms is opened up when IGN France released a review of the game's character stating that she was nothing more than a doll sexualized by somebody who has never seen the female body. And this backfired on them because Eve's model was actually created from a Korean model. So to say that she was created by somebody who has never seen a woman, when in fact she was created from a woman, is not a good look on IGN's part. And if you know IGN, they have been in the limelight recently as well because their takes on some games have been kind of wild, to say the least. And this one was so bad that IGN actually had to publicly come out and backtrack and recant their statements and apologize to Shift Up because of what the journalists had said. Now, this whole thing with over-sexualization in games is kind of confusing to me because I'm honestly somebody who doesn't mind it at all. Hell, if I showed you guys my anime favorites, you'd definitely call me degenerate, and I guess I'm okay with that. Now, the unfortunate thing about it is that games aren't going to give you the option to choose between over-sexualized things and not. The only instance I can actually think of that is something like Cyberpunk, where you were able to toggle maturity content and then toggle it off if you didn't want to see nudity. But that's honestly not going to be something that all games are going to do. So it's going to be, you're either going to have to enjoy the content as it is, or you're going to have to look somewhere else. And that unfortunately is going to make a lot of people angry because everybody wants their cake and they want to eat it too. And that's just something that's not going to be possible with how games are. Now, it should be stated that there are obviously two sides to this coin. There's the side with people who do not want to see over-sexualized models, whether it be male or female, and they don't like the objectification of these characters. Then there's the other side of the coin that has made it their mission to battle wokeism in video games and media. An example of this is when PlayStation released Horizon Forbidden West and Zero Dawn, and they decided to make their character Aloy look more realistic. And this had quite a few people in the gaming space very upset. Their main argument is that they're playing a video game to escape reality, and they can see normal everyday people in reality, so why should they have to be forced to see normal everyday people in a video game? And personally, this isn't really a sentiment I agree with, but that's just me. So it can be difficult for studios to create a game where they create, beautiful people, whether it be a woman or a man, and not objectify them all at the same time. It's a very fine line that studios are kind of walking nowadays, and it just makes their job even harder because I feel like it restricts some of their creative freedom, and they just got to try to make a game that makes everybody happy, and that's very difficult. And that's kind of why Western studios have just kind of shied away from games like Stellar Blade. I mean, you look at Square Enix even, it's, an Eastern studio, and even they have said that they've wanted to kind of tone back their sexual overtones on some of their video games. Which is why Stellar Blade is such a shining example of this, because their director and their team wanted to make a game that focused on the beauty of the female body, all while making a good story with good combat, and honestly, from the demo, they have succeeded. Now back to the question that I posed at the very beginning of the video. Why is Stellar Blade so controversial? In my opinion is, it's not controversial to gamers at all. I've seen my fair share of gamers play this game, they've reviewed it, I've seen streams, And universally, this game is loved already, and it's just in its demo phase. I've seen men play it, I've seen women play it, and they all say the same things about it. The female protagonist is an absolute smoke show. There's fan service that everybody enjoys for the most part, but the game isn't just a one-trick pony. It has great battle physics, it has great story so far, and it's just, you know, balls to the wall action so far, and everybody enjoys that. And in terms of media, the media really enjoy this game too. There obviously are a few bad apples in each bunch, but this game has gotten pretty high scores on the demo already from a lot of media outlets. There's just a few that are making people feel like they're gross or dehumanizing for liking a game like this. So all in all, this game isn't controversial. A lot of these games that suffer from this over-sexualization stigma aren't controversial. It's a few people who are coming out here and stating that people who enjoy this game, who enjoy these kind of games, are all gross, degenerate people, and that's just not true. And this problem isn't going anywhere anytime soon. There's going to be a game down the road that's going to create, you know, their characters just like Stellar Blade. Whether it be male or female, they're going to have, you know, outrageous proportions. They're going to be overly, you know, sexual, whatever the case is, and they're going to be in the same boat as Stellar Blade. And then on the flip side of that coin, you're going to get games who don't want their main protagonists to be extremely sexy. They're going to want them to be more, you know, everyday normal. And the people on the other side are going to be upset with that as well, just like with Aloy and Horizon Forbidden West and Zero Dawn. But these are just my opinions. I want to know what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments if you think this game is in any sort of controversy. If you don't care at all, you're going to play it just because it looks great, or if you just like the hot ladies in it. I mean, just let me know. Also, please don't be afraid to hit that thumbs up button if you like the video, and also share this with your friends so they can get their opinions out there as well. And if you want more videos like this, and if you want to continue following my journey on YouTube, please don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. It would mean a hell of a lot to me.